Good morning, good-looking people. And you're good-looking because you're always looking, and of course, you're finding the good in everything. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and you're ready for an exciting week. Today is the 30th of Sivan. Today is Rosh Chodesh, the first day. And today we're going to have Hayom Yom that talks about spiritual versus physical and growth. So the first part of the Hayom Yom is talking about Shnei Mikra Vechad Targum, which is a minhag. It's a concept on Shabbos to read the Chumash of the Parsha, the Hebrew twice in Hebrew, and once in Aramaic, which is also known as Onkelos. So let's read it inside. In reviewing the weekly Parsha, twice the text and once the Targum Onkelos, we review verse by verse. We also review the Haftarah, and then two, in case it's a Shabbos Rosh Chodesh, or as combined parshas, make sure we do it all. And from what I understand, Shnei Mikra also has a nice segula for very long life. I know it's difficult and it takes time, but give it a try, maybe one aliyah at a time until you get comfortable, and then take on another and another. So today's Hayom Yom starts with the story of, there was a chassid, Reb Zev Dov. He was a very brilliant student, and he went to the Alter Rebbe for his first yechidus. And this student was top of the class. He studied also in Minsk, he studied in Slutsk, two different yeshivas, which very prominent sages that taught there. And when he got to the Alter Rebbe and he was sitting there in his meeting, the Alter Rebbe asked him, "What are you lacking?" And the student looked around and kind of was bewildered by the question, and he says, "Rebbe, I don't think I'm lacking anything, not that I'm aware of." And that's the setup for today's Hayom Yom. So let's read it inside. The Alter Rebbe's response to a young genius, which is this boy, Reb Zev Dov, famed for his intellectual gifts at his first yechidus in 1795 in Liazna, the Alter Rebbe said to him as follows: "Spiritual and physical are contradictions in their very essence. A superior quality in the physical is a deficiency in the spiritual." And he continues and he says, "In material matters, one who is satisfied with his lot is an individual of the highest quality. A person possessing this trait will, through avodah, attain the highest levels. However, in spiritual matters, to be satisfied with one's lot is the worst deficiency and leads, God forbid, to descent and falling." Very important concepts today, so let's break it down because there's a lot of things happening here. Number one, there's a concept that we learn in Pirkei Avos that someone who is satisfied with his lot is rich. That being satisfied with what you have physically is unbelievable, because jealousy, which is a horrible attribute, if you always see something from somebody else and you always want it, or a person always wants it, they'll never be content because you can never have everything. However, when it comes to spiritual growth and learning Torah, as we've seen in other Hayom Yoms, if somebody was to possess envy, it's a great thing when it comes to envy of Torah scholars and of learning Torah, that wanting to learn more, wanting to do more. And that's what today's Hayom Yom is all about, is that the level of physical envy or loving things, you got to be happy with what you lot. That's what God gave you. And of course, there's always more, but being satisfied. But when it comes to learning Torah and spirituality, we can never stay the status quo. We always have to keep moving level by level by level. There's a concept that it says, one who serves God versus one who doesn't. What does it mean? And the Alter Rebbe explains in detail that they both are Torah-observant Jews, and they both do mitzvahs. However, one is constantly growing. He's never comfortable. He's always trying to do better and better. And the other one is, hey, I'm good. I'm happy with where I am. I go to my shul. I go to do my thing. And no growth whatsoever. So today is really about understanding the difference, and that we have to get it. We got to keep moving level to level and grow spiritually, and know that whatever we did today is great and we're doing a great job and we should be proud of ourselves. However, we can't just stay at this level. We got to keep moving. Have a wonderful week. Have a successful week. We'll speak tomorrow.